Welcome back to Buzz TV and Legacy of Leaders. I'm Jack Sears, your host. When we get together, we visit with individuals who are leaders in business, industry, the community, and nonprofit. And today we're going to talk about self-employment. We're going to visit with Jeffrey Shaw and Jeffrey Shaw LLC. Welcome to the show, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Jack.
Good.
Thank you for having me
Glad
here.
that you're here. So, tell us about your LLC. What is Jeffrey Shaw LLC?
Well, more importantly, Jeffrey Shaw, the individual, I'm probably one of the rare individuals that I've actually never had a traditional job. I've never received a paycheck. I actually didn't think there was anything unusual about that because it's the only path I knew until a couple years ago. I was at a dinner party, the topic came up, and everybody else found that rather peculiar, that one would go through your entire life and never have a job. And that's when I really stepped into the importance of self-employment. So today, I write books for self-employed business owners. I'm the founder of the Self-Employed Business Institute. I speak on the topic. I'm all in on helping self-employed business owners.
Wow. You know, it seems like since the pandemic, we hear a lot more about self-employment. Would you add any validity to that?
100%. I mean, there's been a massive wave of people leaving corporate. But if you look back pre-pandemic, the desire for independence, freedom, agency over one's life has always been there. Mm-hmm. And as a crisis in our world often does, it speeds up the timeline. So suddenly people were craving that level of agency independence, having given a little bit of taste of that freedom in lockdown. A lot of people just decided that self-employment was the path to go. So I work, in addition to students in my business institute, as a one-to-one coach, I work specifically with people that transition from corporate to self-employment. There's a lot of challenges with it, and it's interesting to me, again, because having never taken that road, it's very interesting to see what one goes through when they've been in that corporate bubble for so long, and suddenly step out of that to become self-employed. And I want to help people prepare for that transition, as well as get out there, find their core purpose, the business they want to build, what's marketable, and help them get their feet on the ground.
Personal testimony. I know exactly what you're talking about. So yeah. Hey, so I know you've written a couple books. Let's we got a couple on display here. Tell us about these books.
Sure. So my first book was Lingo, and it is a brand message strategy book. I believe wholeheartedly in the energy of words. You know, it's one thing to use words, but the energy behind the words, because one can say the very same phrase in a different tone and it can mean something very different. So I've always been fascinated by the power of the energy of words, and it's more important today than it ever has been. For someone like myself who's been in business for 40 years, I've seen that transition where, you know, in the 80s and 90s, people hired you because you were the best at what you did.
Right.
I don't know that people cared a whole lot about what your values were as a business or how you behaved, but that shifted. You know, somewhere around 2000, 2001, it suddenly became as it is today. People will choose who to do business with or what brand to buy from more about how they feel about that business and brand than whether you're the best in your field.
Gotcha.
Right? So it's really important, more so now than ever, to really understand the power of the energy behind the words you use. So I wrote Lingo as a tool for business owners to be able to do that and really leverage the power of brand messaging.
What about the other book?
And then my second book, The Self-Employed Life, that book I was in process of writing it pre-pandemic.
Okay.
So imagine, you know, I'm writing this book for self-employed business owners, and then we see the world get shut down. I suspected and predicted accurately that a lot of people would want to become self-employed. So here I was writing a book. It became far more important during lockdown. It changed the content a little bit, and I'm thrilled with the book. It introduces what I refer to as the self-employed ecosystem, which is the system or the mindset by which self-employed people really need to be in business, because one of the biggest differences when you're self-employed is that your level of success is proportionate to your level of personal development. Right? So you will only be as successful as you have determined you are capable of and as much as you feel like you are deserving of. So you really have to work on those things first. So it's a personal development book, about a third of it, and then the rest of it is straight out, strong, proven business strategies, which are really important, very different. In today's world of self-employment, you need different strategies than a traditional company might.
How timely, how needed. And from a leadership standpoint, think about it. If you were working for a company, you'd walk into a boardroom to make a presentation, right? As a self-employed person, you have that same boardroom experience when you look in the mirror each morning when
Yeah.
you shave or comb your hair,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
As they say, if you see a self-employed person talking to themselves, he's having a meeting.
he's having a meeting. Well, you've been an outstanding guest on Legacy of Leaders, and I can tell by your passion and your confidence that you're making a difference, and we appreciate you sharing those insights and sharing your books with us, that's for sure.
Thank you very
all
much.
right.
I appreciate that.
That's it, folks. That's the time we have today for Legacy of Leaders. If you'd like to see this interview, if you'd like to learn more about what we're doing in the community on Buzz, visit us on Buzz TV. You can visit us at iwannabuzz.com. Until next time, stay safe, be well. I'm Jack Sears, your host. Take care.